Hello everybody, welcome back to another video on the channel of Mr. Balloons, and today I'm doing Game Week 1 predictions of the Premier League. It is back, and I've just recently done my Premier predictions of the table, and now it's time for Week 1, which is going to be starting off on the 11th of August. It's going to be at Turf Moor, Burnley versus Manchester City, and well, this one's kind of obvious. So many people will say Manchester City, and well, I'm going to agree there. I think Manchester City will win this 3-1 against Burnley. I think Burnley might be able to get a goal. It's at Turf Moor. Exciting new season under Vincent Kompany yet again. Could we see a surprise? I don't know. Manchester City's quality is just too good for Burnley, and yeah, 3-1. Moving on to the next game is also a whole new day, 12th of August. It is AFC Bournemouth at the Vitality Stadium facing West Ham United. Now, Bournemouth do have the home advantage here, which has always been good for the lower teams. They signed their new manager, Iriola. Maybe he could start off good, but West Ham United winning the Conference League. And near the end of the season, they were performing a bit better. And the loss of Declan Rice could be huge here and could mean Bournemouth could definitely get a win. And I think it could go either way. But I'm going 2-1 to West Ham United. They won the Conference League and they ended off the season much better than they started it off. And I think they're going to do a bit better this season. Moving on to the next game, it is Arsenal at their home stadium facing Nottingham Forest. And well, Nottingham Forest away form last season was dreadful. The home form was good, but was dreadful. They've obviously signed Elanga, they already had Brennan Johnson and Morgan Gibbs-White, but Arsenal, on the other hand, they bottled the Premier League, but they did very well, and I think the obvious one here is Arsenal, so I'm going for a 3-0 win to Arsenal. Moving on to the next game, it is Brighton and Hove Albion facing Luton Town. Luton Town's first game in the Premier League, and Luton Town are away from home, which is going to be very hard for Luton Town, coming up from the Championship through the playoffs, and no one really expected Luton Town to get promoted in the Championship. A lot of people put them in the relegation zone. I've backed them to stay up, but their squad is still very weak overall. They got a very cheap side, and facing Brighton and Hove Albion, the season they had last season, Brighton, was fantastic, and the recruitment that Brighton have brought in is very good. And one thing Brighton's good at is bringing in some hidden gems out of nowhere, and I'm sure we'll see a couple of new hidden gems for Brighton this season. But Brighton have got overall better quality, and I think we'll win this 2-1. Moving on to the next game, it is Everton at Goodison Park. Now, I think it's next season they're moving on to the new stadium, so they've still got Goodison Park for this season, I believe. And they're facing Fulham FC. Obviously, all the malarkey with Alexander Mitrovic, him going, but Fulham want him in. I don't think he'll start for Fulham because Alexander Mitrovic wants to leave the club. So I think it's going to be a sort of low scoring, especially with Everton. They had a lot of low scoring games last season because I think they still got a good defence, Everton, and Jordan Pickford in goal, Tawaski at the back still, and Sean Dyche is a great manager. And I think it's going to be a draw, a 1-1 draw between the sides. Maybe Dan Juma can get his debut goal for Everton. Moving on to the next game, it is Newcastle United at St James's Park facing Aston Villa. The last time these two met was in pre-season, and it was a 3-3 draw. Aston Villa scored 2 in the first 13 minutes. It was 2-0 to them. But Newcastle kept on going. They've signed Harvey Barnes, Sandro Tonali, and recently from Southampton, Livramento. I don't think Livramento would probably start. Kieran Trippier would definitely start. And overall, Eddie Howe's a great manager. And at home, Newcastle United definitely have the slight advantage. Did perform very good last season, Newcastle United, but so did Aston Villa, bringing in obviously 3 huge signings: Paul Torres, Tielemans, and Moussa Diaby. So I think it's definitely could be a close one, but 2-1 to Newcastle United. Moving on to the next game, it is Sheffield United against Crystal Palace, and with Sheffield United coming back up from the Championship for their first game, I think overall Sheffield United, obviously losing their huge player in Niade, is huge, but could they make a great start to the season? I'm going to say no. I compare these two sides, Sheffield United and Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace has an overall better side, and I think Crystal Palace will win this 1-0. Moving on to the next game, it is actually also a whole new day, the 13th of August. It is Brentford versus Tottenham Hotspur. Now, last season, Brentford, I believe, had the most draws in the Premier League. So this 100% could be a draw against Spurs, who was very leaky in defence and finishing 8th. Brentford don't have Ivan Toney till the January the 16th, 2024, so a whole half of the season. And with Tottenham bringing in James Maddison, Mark Solomon, it's some great bit of business. And if Harry Kane stays for this one, I think it could be a high-scoring game. 3-2 to Spurs. I think that their defence is still going to be leaky. And even with Brentford without Ivan Toney, I think they could score 2 goals against a very leaky Tottenham Hotspur defence. Moving on to the next game, it is Chelsea at Stamford Bridge facing Liverpool. And I'm going for this one, probably a draw, 1-1. The fact that last season, Chelsea and Liverpool drew both times in the Premier League. And Pochettino's probably wanting to get on to a good start. It's been a great pre-season for Chelsea. And Pochettino is a great manager, managed really well at Spurs, but Liverpool also have their positives, and this is going to be a close game like it has been in the last couple of Premier League games last year. Moving on to the next game, it is Manchester United at Old Trafford facing Wolverhampton Wanderers. Well, I think obviously loads of people are going to say Manchester United to win this. Wolves, I've seen a lot of people put them in relegation zone. I am one of them. I think it's going to be close. But last season, the first few games, they were in last place. So they definitely could be getting off to a bad start. And that's what I'm going for. Wolves are going to lose this game 2-0 to Manchester United. Manchester United are just way better than Wolves. Had a way better season last season. And Wolves is slowly falling down the league table. That is all the predictions for this video. Hopefully you can like and subscribe. And always remember to turn on those notifications to never miss one of my fantastic YouTube videos. I will see you next time. Toodle pip now.